I have here two current Nikon Z cameras that offer a really good autofocus for wildlife and especially bird photography, also good image quality and have a nice body, but they are quite lightweight and also don't break your bank account. We have on one side the Z50, which is a full frame camera with a 24 megapixel sensor. And on the other hand, we have a Z50, which is an APS-C camera with roughly 21 megapixels, which has this advantage of this APS-C or DX crop factor of 1.5, meaning you get in the end more pixels on your subject. So I want to compare them a bit for general wildlife and also for bird photography and help you decide which one is the better fit for you. Overall, the body look quite similar, which is a good thing because it means that many buttons are at the same place, but there is also some differences. So the Nikon Z52 is noticeably lighter than the Z52. The Z52 is around 550 grams versus 700 grams for the Z52. The Z52 is also a bit smaller, and the price difference is also notable. In Europe, the Z52 sells for around 930 euros, whereas the Nikon Z52 is around 1780 euros, so close to double the price. You also get some differences in the body, not only a heavier and bigger body, but for example the Nikon Z52 offers a joystick which is very handy for moving the autofocus area quickly around. It has a noticeably larger viewfinder with a magnification of 0.8 versus 0.68 on the Z52, and the resolution on the Z52 is also higher with 3.7 million dots compared to the 2.4 million dots on the Z52. That's not a deal breaker for me, but I just feel like this higher resolution and larger magnification just makes it a bit more a joy to use out in the field. And while the size of the touchscreen is the same, the resolution is almost twice as high on the Z52, so also there you get just a better view. You can more easily judge if the images are actually sharp or not. Due to the compact design, the Z52 has the SD card and the battery down here. The battery is this EL25 battery, which is quite small, and honestly I run through them so quickly. I think recently I managed in one afternoon to use more than 2 full batteries. So if you go for the Z52, I would highly recommend to get at least 2 spare batteries. And then of course we have the SD card slot. This is a bit different on the Z52 here. The SD card slot is here, and we actually get 2 slots, so you can, for example, use them to write your files redundantly or write the photos and the videos on 2 different cards. And on the bottom we have the much larger EL15C battery, which is the same one that is also used in the Z6 III and Z8 cameras. The Z52 also offers an in-body image stabilizer, an IBIS, which the Z52 lacks. This might sound like a big difference, however I found that for wildlife photography it's actually not too bad to not have it, because usually I use lenses that are anyway stabilized. I use these modern Nikon Z lenses that have a very good stabilizer already in the lens, and yes, it can help if you have a supporting in-body image stabilization and they can kind of work together, but the difference is not as big. You will see a bigger difference with wide-angle lenses, and of course the biggest difference if you use an unstabilized lens. So I did some tests with a 600mm on the Z52, and I used the 1.4 extender on the Z52 to get to a similar kind of angle of view or field of view, and with a shutter speed of 1/30th of a second I got like 66% of sharp images with the Z52 and 80% of sharp images with the Z52. So yes, even with telephoto lenses you still see the difference whether you have that IBIS or not, but it's not a deal breaker for me to not have that. One last difference that I want to highlight is that the shutter on the Z52 is a bit faster. It can go up to 1/8000 of a second. The Z52 is limited to 1/4000 of a second, which in many situations might not be a big deal, especially since I think these cameras are anyway not the best choice for really fast action photography. Don't get me wrong, if you want to take pictures of herons or seagulls in flight, they do the job just fine. But if you want to get like swifts or swallows in flight, it can get a bit frustrating. However, this difference in the fastest shutter speed is relevant if you shoot in backlit, especially if you have some like bokeh balls in the background, because then sometimes this, and especially if you shoot with a rather fast lens, this 1/4000th of a second can be a bit limiting. Sometimes I even wished for something shorter than 1/8000th of a second. If you want that, you would need to pick up a Z6 Mark III or even a Z8. Both cameras offer an animal and also a special bird mode for the autofocus, and this one works really well, and it's a big jump from the predecessor of the respective models. It's not quite on the level of a Z6 III or Z8, but I feel it worked quite well for my use case. The tracking was fine as well. From my experience, the Z50 II was performing actually slightly better. It was not a big difference, but it seemed to be a bit more constant or more reliable. With the Z5 II, it happened to me several times that the camera locked onto a bird, the autofocus field got green, and then it kind of defocused slightly. It got yellow, then it got green again, back to yellow. So it just lost the focus always for a second, not by much, but just by a few, maybe a centimeter or so, but the image was slightly soft, and somehow the Z50 II was more reliable for me in those situations. To get the best performance and many sharp pictures with both cameras, you should really set them up correctly, and that's where the autofocus guide that my friend Nicolas and I wrote for Nikon Z cameras are perfect, because we show you all the settings that you have, which ones we would recommend, which not, and for which shooting situation, for example backlit, fog, snowfall, we recommend to make which kind of modifications. I put the link to the ebook in the video description, and there is a money-back warranty if you would not be happy with the purchase. In terms of the burst rate, if you use the electronic shutter, you can get 8, respectively 9 frames per second. However, usually I don't use it because the rolling shutter of these cameras is quite significant. So most of the time I use the mechanical or electronic first curtain, and there we get with both cameras, if we want to shoot in full RAW and use the continuous autofocus, we get 11 frames per second, which is not crazy fast, but it's enough for some slower flying birds and for sure for stationary subjects. Of course, if you use the electronic first curtain or mechanical shutter, you might have some shutter shock, which might be an issue with longer shutter speeds, and of course you hear a noise. They're quite similar in the noise level. It's not terribly loud, but I will demonstrate it quickly for you. So that's the Z5 II, and then on a very similar level the Z50 II. And because this is not a very fast frame rate and the buffer is quite decent, I never had any issues that I actually hit the buffer, so that was good. Now a very interesting part is the image quality, because as I mentioned, we have a full frame versus a DX sensor, and I kind of ran 3 different scenarios. Scenario 1 is the kind of best case scenario for me. So I took pictures with the Z50 II with 600 millimeters. And then I also took pictures with 600 millimeters with the Z5 II, but I approached my test subject a bit closer. So this would mean in reality that the animal is not too shy and you can actually get closer. And I did a test with 400 and 6400 ISO, and at 400 the difference was not as obvious, but still the Z5 II delivered better image quality, and at 6400 ISO this was more clear and pronounced. But to be honest, this is sometimes not very realistic, because unfortunately sometimes the animals are a bit shyer, we cannot get closer, or we are in a nature reserve and we need to stick to a path. So that's scenario 2. I use 600 millimeters from the same distance, and because the Z50 II has the crop factor, this means I'm at an equivalent focal length of 900 millimeters, which means with the Z5 II I just need to crop in post, which reduces the resolution to around 11 megapixels. So which one is getting a better result there? Clearly the Z50 II. We have more pixels on the subject. At 400 ISO this is quite predictable probably. How does it look at 6400 ISO? Actually the same, because of course the Z5 II has a little bit noise like on default, but because we blow the image up, we crop in, we also pronounce the noise a bit more. So still the winner would be the Z50 II in this scenario. However, third scenario, you could also add a tele-extender to the Z5 II, and then you get 840 millimeters versus 900 millimeters on the Z50 II. You need to crop a little bit on the Z5 II, but not too much. How does it look then? in the end very comparable. I think there is not a clear winner anymore. So yeah, I hope this result helped you a bit to decide which camera to take. In terms of videos, both cameras can of course record 4K. The Z50 can do 4K 30. On the Z52 you have 4K 30 without crop, and if you want to use 4K 60 you have a 1.45 crop factor, additional of course to the 1.5 DX factor that you already have. And if you want to shoot it with a higher frame rate, like 120 frames per second, the resolution gets down to full HD, so 1080p on both of these cameras. There is one last difference that I think is important to mention, and that's that the Z52 has the IBIS, and I feel like in video you feel a bit more than in photo mode that it helps just to get smoother footage even with long telephoto lenses. So which camera should you pick up? I think if you want to go for a more all-round camera, you also want to do some landscape photography, maybe some astrophotography, you also shoot sometimes in a bit more low light, and you can either get a bit closer to the animals or you are okay with including a bit more of the environment, then I think the Z52 just gives you the much better results. And in case you need more focal length, you can always use the tele extender without basically losing much of image quality compared to using the Z52 in the first place. However, if you know that you are basically always focus limited, you always need more focal length because you are photographing shy or really small animals, and you also want to save some money, then I think the Z52 makes more sense. Finally, also keep a bit in mind that there is a bit of a difference of how the body is handled. The Z52 is lighter. For using it with telephoto lenses, I however prefer the Z52 because I think it's a bit more balanced. If you want to pick one of these camera amps, I would be very happy if you could use the affiliate links down below. These just help to support my channel. And if you want to get more out of the autofocus system of one of these two or any other current Nikon Z camera, then please check out my autofocus ebook that I mentioned before.